Welcome back to another edition of the Optimize Weekly Market Recap. I'm David Ferreira, Portfolio Manager with Optimize Wealth Management. And as always for today's recap, we'll take a look at last week's activity in the markets, as well as what we're watching for in the week ahead. North American stocks continued to move higher last week, boosted by some encouraging comments from Federal Reserve, plus data that showed inflation continued to cool. The Dow saw the biggest advance for the week, rising over 1.6% to close above the very important 40,000 level. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 gained a more modest 25 and 87 basis points respectively, as the current stock rally broadened beyond big tech. The TSX, meanwhile, climbed almost 2.8% over the week to also hit a record high, its best weekly gains since October. Zooming in on sector performance, real estate and utilities notched the biggest gains, while communication services and consumer staples lagged behind. Looking at the events from this past week, stocks rallied after Federal Reserve Chair Powell commented that keeping interest rates too high could hurt the economy. This was encouraging news for investors banking on an interest rate cut as soon as September of this year. Also fueling rate cut hope expectations was U.S. consumer inflation data that unexpectedly fell 0.1% in June to its lowest level in more than 3 years. This further supports the case for a Fed rate cut later this year. North of the border, activity picked up in the Canadian housing market as both home buying and selling rose in June for the first time since January. The mild increase in the average home price, though, suggests home price inflation is easing, which is meaningful for overall inflation levels. For the week ahead, the financial health of the U.S. consumer will be in focus this week, as retail sales figures for June will be released on Tuesday, while the Fed's Beige Book on Wednesday will provide commentary into regional economic conditions in the U.S. Other notable economic reports include weekly jobless claims on Thursday. In Canada, key consumer inflation data for June, also out on Tuesday, could provide insight into the Bank of Canada's interest rate decisions for the rest of the year. And more than 40 S&P 500 companies will report earnings this week, including Bank of America, United Airlines, and Netflix. Now that's all for this week. As always, thank you for watching and see you soon.